All right, our icons disappear because we removed them, but our CSS looks good, except for when we look at this right here. So this box with an X in it indicates that there's some font character that we're not able to load. And if we go to our CSS and scroll down to where we have this element, you can see that we're using the class playFont for this icon right here. Now this seems like another situation where the icon isn't necessarily meaningful. It would be better to just leave it with the phone number and not have an additional element here. So we've seen how we can do that now using the before pseudo selector. So now this is just a copy of our button right here. So let's remove the copy and let's focus on getting this button right. So I'm going to cut this out of our HTML and I'll scroll down into the header and I'm going to cut this and move it to the top of the page so we can compare it with our visuals in the image. I'll save this and refresh, and here we go. So now what we want is to add this icon, and our styles right now for this button are coming from the button component and the button pill subcomponent. But this element is going to be further unique from other buttons that might use this style because it's going to have this icon in the front, and that's something we want to add with CSS. So we'll need to add one more class here. Now, even though this is a standalone component, it's also a part of a bigger component, the site header. So when we name the class here to create a unique identifier for it, we'll use site header, which is the name of the component, a dash, and let's call it phone. And now the styles that we're going to add will now reside in the site header instead of the button classes. So I'm going to go back and let's open up our site header SCSS file, and we'll add a new selector here. We'll use the ampersand to add site header here, dash phone. And now we're going to use the before pseudo selector. So we'll use the ampersand to add this selector first, colon, and then before. And then we're going to use the content property. And what we want to add here is the phone Unicode. So I'm going to go back to the browser to our cheat sheet. I'm going to search for phone again. We'll scroll through until we get to the phone icon here. And then we're going to copy just the F095 part. Everything after the ampersand, hash, and X. And we'll do a quote, a backslash, and then that code. And now this is most of what we need, but if we refresh the browser, we'll see that we're not getting the right code here. That's because the font that we're using for this is the default font. What we want is Font Awesome. So let's change the font family here to Font Awesome. Let's save this, go back to the browser and refresh, and now we have our phone.